SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better. Today on One, Always There. Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, fishing company accused of contributing to employees' death due to negligence. Declining economy creates empty skies for Namibian pilots. Vice President, pay up what you owe, says SUN. And Home Affairs Ministry to replace national documents of Tualoloka and Havana fire victims.
Seagoing employees of the Hadago Fishing Company at Walvis Bay claim that one of their colleagues died of COVID-19 as a result of the company's negligence, while some of them suspect that they might be COVID-19 positive. More than 50 employees of the Hadago Fishing Company left their vessel and are isolated at a local hotel where they will be tested for COVID-19 after one of their colleagues allegedly passed on as a result of COVID-19. The employees that were at Sea Point between 19th May and the 1st of July claimed that they had no contact with other people for 70 days and were healthy until their human resource manager got on the vessel with other people. According to the crew members, they allegedly had 2 transshipments at Midwater within the 70 days, and the 3rd transshipment was only on 2nd of July at the company.
We went to the sea on the 19th of May 2020, and we stayed at sea for 70 days in total without going out of the vessel. We had 2 transshipments, first one on the 30th May and the second one on the 14th June. And after all this transshipment, we never report any crew sick or having higher temperature. All transshipment was held at Midwater without making any contact with people having COVID-19. The 3rd transshipment was held at the port. And before we arrived at the port, we asked officer to pay us the transshipment money since the transshipment is voluntary. We sent the fax on the 1st July 2020. We were answered by Sonny Ndalumbumo, Human Resource, that he is not a finance officer, and later informed us telephonically that there will be people coming to offload, and that shocked everyone since there is no more protection for the crew members.
According to Ikango Sakeus, the group spokesperson, the human resource manager Sonny Ndalumbumo allegedly entered the vessel on 2nd of July with other people. Some crew members, including the deceased, who suffered from diabetes, asked the company whether they can go see their doctors and get their medication, but Ndalumbumo threatened that they would not return to the vessel. Sakeus added that 2 of the crew members, including the deceased, became seriously ill by the 17th of July, which prompted the members to order the captain to turn back.
On the 2nd July, Sonny Ndalumbumo, the human source, was the first person to enter the vessel when we arrived in the port. In a few moments, a lot of people were coming in the vessel, and him, Sonny, was roaming around our room, but we don't know what was his job there. We have been asking the company for some crew member to go see their doctor, but Sonny Ndalumbumo, the human source, have been threatening the crew member that if you live in the vessel, you will never come, and this is the cause of our crew member later Ephraim Nahum. On the 3rd July, Sonny Ndalumbumo removed Raida Ephraim Nahum with other 3 crew members out of the car when they tried to go to see their doctor when the vessel was in the port. On the 17th July, while we are at fishing ground, we noticed that later Ephraim Nahum and Adam Nanapo, plus the Russian men, were seriously sick. All Namibian crew members come together and order the captain to steam back to Walvis Bay. Since the members are in a bad condition, when we arrived in the Midwater on the 18th July, the company ordered the doctor to come test the COVID COVID-19, instead of removing the member out of the vessel to hospital, the doctor leave the serious sick people there.
The crew members are therefore appealing for the removal of Ndalumbumo from his position, and the company take full responsibility for all people that will test positive. Apart from that, they also want the company to reinstate 4 crew members that were chased out of the vessel after they went to get medicine from their family members. The petition was received by the company's general manager Harold Kaune, who promised to provide feedback soon.
We herewith receive your petition. We also take note and cognizance of your grievances and your concerns, and we will definitely attend to them and provide you feedback.
The Aircraft's Owners and Pilots Association Vice President Peter Kyle has revealed that nearly all the commercial aircraft fleet in Namibia are grounded at the moment due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Namibian skies have become almost empty since the nationwide lockdown was implemented by the government to curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus in the country. Today on One met with the Vice President of AYOPA, an organization that represents the majority of the civil aviation operators, aviation maintenance facilities, aircraft owners and pilots in Namibia, who said that the crippling tourism sector is one of the main contributing factors to the loss of income for many operators working in this very critical economic sector.
Approximately 99% of the commercial aircraft fleet in Namibia is grounded at the moment. Many of the owners and the operators have actually cancelled their insurance because they can't even afford the premium per month anymore because of the cutback. This is very unusual for Eros Airport to have so many aircraft on the apron waiting to go fly or whatever. They are all commercial aircraft waiting to go out there and come back. And they are dependent on tourism, all of them. The tourism has scarily, was an eye-opener to us, has had such a big impact on this whole economy of ours. And then once the tourists come back, the aircraft start flying and they operate again, it will take some time until these aircraft come due. Obviously, there will be some work to be done to get the fleet commercially, legally and everything back into the air. But once they start working, it will be a time before they come due for maintenance work. And that's where only when we're standing in the backside of the queue to do some or get some earnings on this thing. And this is what makes it difficult.
Besides his position as the Vice President of AYOPA, Kyle is also the owner of Sky Core Aviation, a private company that provides aircraft maintenance and aviation services, currently providing jobs for more than 30 employees. According to Kyle, the sector is eagerly waiting to see how they can qualify for the Aviation Relief Fund, which was recently declared as one of the 3 key economic sectors, together with tourism and construction, that will receive financial assistance from the government.
Now, I believe that there is quite some discussions and considerations regarding any relief packages for the industry on the aviation side as well as the tourism side. We haven't seen anything from that. We are eagerly waiting to see how we can qualify. It seems to be very difficult to qualify for this relief fund, but we are anxiously waiting for the results to come forward, and we have been prompting this from AYOPA Namibia. That was one of our major tasks that we initiated, to try and set up negotiations in that line to see what is possible. But yeah, up till now we haven't seen anything, and there's no positive indications of anything happening towards us, or that could maybe survive or have us survive in the future. We are dependent on our own operation. We are left in the dark there.
The temporary halt on tourism in the country as part of the state of emergency directives implemented by the head of state has crippled the Namibian aviation sector, and the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority also reported a monthly loss of income to the tune of 15 million Namibia dollars since the lockdown in March.
I love the way it makes me feel, the confidence it gives me, and full support. Celebrate Women's Month with PEP. Get t-shirt bras at $49.99 each, or any two for just $80. Save $20. Be yourself with PEP's new range of underwear at unbelievable prices.
The Student Union of Namibia, SAN, is calling on the Vice President Ngolo Mbumba to stop sitting around in President Hage Geingo's press conferences and address the issues surrounding the funding of marginalized students nationwide.
So, we are also worried that the Vice President is usually just seen at press conferences when the President is there sitting. And we are also failing to understand his role as a Vice President. So we are calling upon His Excellency Ngolo Mbumba to take responsibility and use his office also to be doing something. We only see him sitting at press conferences, blinking his eyes. So we think it's high time now the Vice President also gets some sort of role to play. These are people that falls under his ministry, and this situation cannot continue for far too long. Then that ministry must be shut down. We cannot have staffs that are getting paid every year a lot of money, but they are not doing anything. So if there is no budget for the student, the ministry serves no purpose. So we are calling, if His Excellency can intervene, the ministry must be shut down. We can perhaps also auction the furniture and many other things that are in that building. But if they are not taking this call serious, we are going to occupy that building. With the students with disabilities who come with their wheelchairs, with the students that are marginalized, we are going to occupy. I think the building is big enough even to practice social distancing.
The Division of the Marginalized Communities within the Office of the Vice President has a program to assist marginalized students, and since its 12-year existence has assisted the students. SAN has received information that the beneficiaries are receiving their payments at a snail pace and that the program is failing to pay students' allowances every month.
We have seen in the media that a lot of students from marginalized community have been dropping out of tertiary school and other related academic institutions. The impact caused by the delay of the monthly allowance to the marginalized student is compromising the future generation and the human capital development of this previously disadvantaged as at stake. They are talking about empowering people from different backgrounds, but you can clearly see that the young, the dynamic persons from marginalized community are being compromised, their future is being compromised. That would cause some imbalances in our community.
According to SAN, the students do not have accommodation, transport fees, food, and basic needs such as toiletries, adding that there are also students on the list that are not from any marginalized community and that the Office of the Vice Presidency is using this to empower their relatives.
Trying to assist this marginalized student to get dream. You see the funny part of this whole thing. The government employs someone just from nowhere and sit there in Kenya House in a good aircon, have no concept what is the difference between a Himba, a Mushimba, and a Mutwa. So when you come there, I'm saying, no, I am from Ochu, I'm a Mushimba. Someone who is from just Ventu, who never even visited Kuneni, is even telling you that there's no Ovakwa or Mushimba in that area. So where do they get this type of information? So these people implement things not for sake of trying to uplift the standard of living of people. As I rooted already that the government has neglected these people. It's not just the students from those particular community, the entire community. When you go and see where these people came from, as or Vatua or Chimba or San, you can tell that these are people who are highly neglected from even social welfare.
The Student Union of Namibia is planning on occupying the Kenya House if their demands are not met by the relevant stakeholders. In a telephonic conversation with the Deputy Minister of Marginalized, said that they resolved the situation 3 days ago at State House and students should just be patient.
The new All Seasons Moisture Body Lotion from Nivea Men. For 0% stickiness no matter how hot you are, and 100% moisture no matter how cool you are. Get deeply nourished, healthier looking skin. New Nivea Men All Seasons. 0% stickiness, 100% moisture. Nivea Men, it starts with you. Nivea Men All Seasons. Now available in a cream.
At an update on the progress made within the Home Affairs Ministry's National Documentation Services, its executive director announced that the ministry will be assisting Kuala and Havana fire victims by replacing their national documents. The ministry's executive director noted that the ministry, in conjunction with the local authorities of these two informal settlements, will work swiftly and speedily to replace national documents lost in these fires, adding that this will be done at no cost.
In just 1 week, we have seen two devastating fires in two settlements in the Rongo and Khomas regions, respectively. The ministry stands in solidarity with the residents of Tualoloka settlement in Walvis Bay and residents of Havana settlement in Windhoek. We wish to commiserate with all our fellow citizens who have been affected not only by the losses related to the pandemic, but also by the devastating infernos which have resulted in a loss of property. We have learned that a life was lost, and we would like to express our sincere condolences to the bereaved family. Among the many items lost are national documents. We will work with the local authorities to obtain a consolidated name list of all those affected individuals, and we will do it as soon as we are able to consider the COVID-19 restrictions. We've already been in contact with the local authorities and the regional structures so that we can speed up this process. Now, under normal circumstances, duplicate national documents must be paid for. But it is our intention to have those national documents replaced at no cost to the affected individual. We're cognizant of the hardship already faced by the affected individuals, and we have started to work on the administrative processes to achieve this noble goal.
The ministry further announced that it has cleared the national documentation backlog with up to 101,000 national documents, which are now ready for collection. The ministry is also working to eliminate statelessness for those living in the country without national documents.
I am therefore appealing to those who have applied for the national documents to collect them at our regional and sub-regional offices countrywide. During collection, the original acknowledgement receipt must be presented if it is available. And for the collection of passports, your original ID must be presented. There are still people in Namibia who have been resident in Namibia prior to independence but are unable to acquire national documents because of the legal requirements that they are unable to meet. This concern is raised at every platform that we engage members of the public. We want to assure the public that we are neither oblivious nor unsympathetic to this concern.
In its efforts to implement e-governance and digitalize its services, the ministry has thus far introduced e-birth and e-death notification systems, which will enable real-time notifications of births and deaths by the Health Ministry and the Namibian Police for the National Population Register.
Share with us on #LearnOn1. Tell us what you're learning and where you're learning it from. Send us your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better. In other leading stories, the German embassy charged to affairs Alan Goltz and Immaculate Mokhotsi, Sister Namibia Board of Trustee chairperson, signed a funding agreement on Sister Namibia's project, Women on the Frontline, a feminist communications project promoting awareness, advocacy and access to information. The German government supports this human rights project with over 700,000 Namibia dollars. The project primarily seeks to shine a light on and address gender inequality with focused attention on safety, security and health in Namibia, which have been heightened by COVID-19. Over the next 12 months, high-quality media publications on feminism will be made available across all Sister Namibia's media and community engagement platforms, providing access to information that will assist women in finding safe spaces to identify, discuss and navigate critical issues and to access relevant government and community-based services. The awareness and advocacy aspects of the project aim to take advantage of increased online life and digital communities that COVID-19 regulations have brought to the lives of Namibians and will have a national reach.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. Residents from the coastal town of Walvis Bay have turned to the Almighty God to save their town from the coronavirus pandemic. This comes after President Geingob declared the coastal town as the epicenter of the pandemic. Slang said prayers are not the answer to the challenge, but taking action would be a better approach. Mushari said that they should not only pray but repent. Mukwambi said the Erongo governor should be given credit for this. Basil said God promises not to forsake the world and will answer one day. The Ministry of Health and Social Services released a statement on Tuesday stating that in recent weeks, Namibia has observed a worrying upsurge in the number of cases reported, and that although the town of Walvis Bay remains the epicenter of the pandemic, cases are increasing in other parts of the country. This, they say, should and must be a source of concern for all Namibians. Chris said another lockdown will not solve the problem, but getting medical facilities up to standard will. Shilongo recalls a time when the country went over 30 days without recording a case, which led authorities to let their guard down instead of establishing quarantine facilities. Nali said, how can the public be expected to adhere to the protocols if some of those that contracted the disease were told to go back to their homes? Zoe said reopening the Erongo region for 2 weeks has led to this problem. Wenzel said the whole country should return to a complete lockdown again. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
From Cape to Cairo, Accra to Antananarivo, there are millions of people just like you trying to make a living to make money. And there's no magic way to get rich quick, unless you're Aliko Dangote. You're not Aliko Dangote, are you? No? Well, perhaps we can help you get a little further along the way. With BBC reporters all over Africa, we find the stories, the successes, and the startups that will help you make the most of your money. This is Smart Money.
Love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. East wind conditions are expected from tomorrow over the coastal areas extending into the weekend. The Namibia interior is sunny and warm but hot in the far northern regions. The coast sunny and warm to hot with dust storms at times, and the wind moderate to fresh northeasterly. Now a look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
And you beautiful, look like an angel. I like it when you call me Papa. Baby, I don't see any reason to lose you, cause God told me in my dream I should choose you. Come and some killing, come and have a kenny loo. In good and bad times, I'm totally cool.
For you and pray for you, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to get to us all. Yeah, I do, as I say I do, to you. We are very good, we are very good, we are very good. I'm a sinner.
objection was...
It is now my pleasure to introduce